Is it going to be too much to write 4 books, or do we think I'm going to be able to pull it off?
It was too much. I did not write 4 books. Today I'm going to do something that I've done for a couple years on the channel, which is review my goals for the previous year. I like to make goal videos on this channel, just sharing the goals that I set for myself every year. And I think it's really fun for me to react to those goals a year later and tell you what I did accomplish, what I didn't accomplish, and just give you a very honest look behind the scenes and let me know how I'm doing in my career. I tend to err on the side of being very ambitious and then undershooting, but I like doing that because I like setting very lofty goals, and then even if I don't meet the lofty goals that I set, I've still done very well. But I like to push myself really hard because even if I undershoot my super lofty goals, I still meet a lot of my goals and get farther than I would otherwise. So I'm gonna play the video and basically just live react to it, and then yeah, talk about it in between. Right off the bat, I will say that I've made some serious improvements to my entire YouTube setup this year. I feel like my understanding of sound and lighting and everything is just generally better. I filmed this goals video at night in like just a room, and so it clearly, like, I'm glad I don't have the bed in the background anymore. The bed is now like over there. This is the same room. I just shuffled everything around. Like, I used to have the camera on this desk pointing this way, and I couldn't figure out how to shuffle around the room so that I could be facing the windows, because the windows are on a really weird side of the room. So we have a really strange layout of this room right now, but my fiance is an engineer and he fixed it for me, so I was very grateful. If you want to take a look, you see it's like the treadmill is by the door, which is really weird, and then the bed is like pressed up against the window. I guess it's not that weird. It's just like, it's weird to have the treadmill by the bed, but that's okay. It still works out fine.
The number 1 goal on this list I have made for myself is actually publish They Stay 5.
Okay, I published They Stay 5 in April, and this is a goal that I smashed. I am very happy with that book. I'm so happy with the ending. I was really worried that after I published that book that I'd have like writer's remorse and regret the choices that I made. I don't. I stand by every single choice that I made in that book. I am really, really proud of that ending because I put so much thought into it, and I don't think it's too like, let's hold hands and sing in a circle. Like, it's violent, it's gory, but every character gets the right ending for their story. I kill off main characters in that finale, but all of the world building and everything tied together, and I was able to come up with a punchy ending that didn't undermine the rules that I'd already created in that world. I love They Fall, and I'm so proud of that book. The one thing that I didn't really do is I didn't make a huge to-do out of the release like I thought I would. I was just so drained from like putting all of my energy into writing the book that I just didn't really have a lot for marketing. And it was a little discouraging, like marketing book 5 in a series, because I'm really just marketing to people who've already read the series. It wasn't so much about making the biggest to-do about the release as possible. It was more about just getting the book out there so the series can be done. And then I could start marketing book 1 and getting new readers into the series.
Finishing that series is going to free me up to pursue some new writing projects, and so my next goal for 2025 is to write book 1 of my new paranormal thriller series.
I smashed this one too.
I have 3 books of this planned.
More like 6.
I could potentially do more, but
Yes.
I have a solid 3 books, and we're going to see how the books do before deciding whether it's going to be a trilogy or I'm going to push it longer.
You're so smart.
If everybody hates it, maybe I'll just do 1 and call it a day, but I'm really excited about this idea. I've already plotted out the first book. I have concepts for the next 2, but I haven't been able to plot them out yet because I'm still figuring out the details of book 1. I am a true crime girly. I love Criminal Minds. I love anything that has to do with like catching serial killers. That genre of story is just it just really captures my imagination. And so I wanted to do something along the lines of that, but with my own twist on it. It's like if Supernatural had a baby with Criminal Minds. I'm loving it, and it's really fun to plot. I haven't started writing it yet, but I'm jazzed about it, and I can't wait to actually draft that book.
Okay, watching that is getting me a little bit emotional because that is so cute. I didn't even start writing it when I filmed this video a year ago, and this book has taken over my entire life. This book is my entire personality. Currently, as I'm filming this video, I'm on deadline to get this book out. I have until the end of January to have this book to my editor. I have just until the end of January to make all of the changes and all of the edits that are necessary before I publish this book, and I am so stressed but also so jazzed about it. It is literally all I'm doing right now. Like, I'm just eat, sleep, and editing, and eat, sleep, and editing. But I love it. And this book has totally changed the game for my career this year. I started marketing this book on TikTok very lightly over the summer because I decided in February that I was going to be consistent with TikTok and just see where that took me this year. Like, that was just, I don't know if it's a goal that I talked about in this video because that's kind of one that I had during the year. But I started making videos about this book idea, and I have gotten so much interest around this book, and it's just been so exciting to be able to have people interested in my story and to be able to talk to readers about what I'm working on. Sometimes marketing They Stay could feel like I'm shouting into a void, and it doesn't feel like that with the Love Trials. And it is just such a fun feeling to have that kind of direct communication with readers and be able to design the book around, and like the book launch around all the things that they want. I started writing this book in March, like right at the end of March, when They Fall was shipped off to my editor and I didn't have to worry about it anymore. And this book was the only book that I really wrote this year, and I spent all of my time in this book. The reason for it is because I have gone through 6 drafts, and they are long drafts. They're like, my first draft was, I think, roughly 200,000 words, and then my second draft, because I added to it, was 240,000 words, and then I was like, I can't send a book that long to beta readers or they're going to lose interest or not want to take on the project, so I cut it down to 150,000 words, and now I'm adding back to it because nobody was bored and they just all wanted more. So now it is going to probably be published at around 175,000 words. But this was a lot of material for me to work with, and because I did so many drafts at like these rough lengths, it was just a lot of words. So it was not a quick process. This book took me a long time. I remember when I filmed this video, I thought that Love Trials would be like a back burner project. Like, I'd be focused on my cowboy romance pen name this year, and I would just write a draft 1 of the paranormal thriller book just to get it out of my system. I wrote that draft 1 at the end of March, and I just couldn't stop thinking about it. On an unrelated note, I think that I'm wearing the same shirt in this video from last year as I am wearing right now. I just covered it up with a hoodie when I was filming it last year, and right now I had no shame. I was always kind of embarrassed wearing my bright t-shirts when filming my YouTube videos because I know that it makes me look younger, but I love wearing my bright t-shirts, and this is what I wear normally, and so this year just decided to embrace it. I'm just going to show up exactly authentically like who I am and not try to look too businessy. Being a writer is a job that you can show up to do in your pajamas, so I'm going to show up exactly how I show up every day when I write my books. That is one of my goals for next year, is I want to have a rough draft of the book. I'm not expecting to have something finished, but I'd like to have kind of like what I have now for my standalone. I'd like to have a version of the book that's rough enough that has been to beta readers, that beta readers have seen, that I've incorporated feedback on, that has an ending, that needs more work but is like maybe 75% of the way done, that I can take across the finish line pretty easily in 2026 and publish it in 2026. Okay, I was making a face, but that's basically essentially what I have. I mean, it's a lot more than 75% of the way done. Like, it is polished, and I'm on chapter 42 out of 55, and like I'm still working on incorporating beta reader feedback and like doing my final drafts of those. I mean, not my final draft, like that doesn't involve self-editing and like my passes across them and like adding little things that I think of later, but like my first pass post beta reading, I have like from 42 to 55 to do, and the rest of the book I've already done that on, and I need a couple more little passes before I send it to my editor, and I have one of my beta readers that's actually going to read through the whole thing again and give me comments because she had seen the original version and now she's going to see this version, so she's working on that right now, and I am going to publish it in early 2026. So actually I wasn't totally off the ball, I guess. I was just wildly ambitious, thinking that I could do other things while I was also doing this. I would say that I could easily publish it next year, but I have some other things that I want to be working on next year, including the launch of my brand new pen name. This is a super big deal because I never expected to be starting a new pen name. I never expected to be writing in a different genre.
especially not the genre that I've chosen, but I am very excited about it. I am going to start a super secret pen name. It's not really going to be that secret because I'm going to talk about it on this channel, and I'm probably going to have social media accounts where I show my face, and it's just going to be a different name to separate it under, but I'm not going to hide behind it. It's just going to like be a different persona of mine. I live in Montana, and I also really love reading romance. So I'm really excited to be able to write stories set in the world that I live in. I know there is a bigger audience for the cowboy romance, and also a part of me that really, really loves writing happier stories. Okay, I was like such a liar when I filmed this video. I found out this year that that is not 100% true. I got really bored writing romance because nobody was dying. More on that in a second. But next year is going to be my year of prep for this. 2025, I'm going to get all of my ducks in a row. I'm going to write 3 books. They are going to be standalone, small town, Western romance. Jury's out on whether they will be steamy or not. We're still not quite there yet. I have to write book 1 and see how I'm feeling. And then I'm going to rapid release them in 2026. Okay, how did that go? So as I mentioned, I started writing the love trials at the end of March. And that book was completely all-consuming. That is really all I did. I sent it to beta readers in early October, and then the beta readers had it for 6 weeks. So for all of October and the first half of November, my beta readers were working through it. And so the only time I wasn't working on love trials for all of last year in 2025 was just during those 6 weeks. And during those 6 weeks is when I decided to write my first cowboy romance. I thought that I had accomplished my goal. I had a draft of love trials. I was really happy with it. I was just going to let beta readers work on it, and then I could maybe write some cowboy romances that fall. But what I didn't anticipate is because I had spent so many years writing paranormal thrillers, I had a learning curve trying to figure out how to write a romance. I write romances. Like, Love Trials has a huge romance in it, and romance is a huge part of that book. Like, the romance in Love Trials is enemies to lovers, it's slow burn, it's steamy, it's got some spice in it, it's very, very complicated, and the characters have to work through a lot of stuff individually and also together, because then they get kidnapped and forced through these trials inspired by Saw, designed to torture and kill them, and only one of them is going to be able to make it out alive. But they end up falling in love in this serial killer's warehouse, and it's very, very intense. And I am obsessed with that. Like, that is one of my favorite things to write ever. I love writing romance, and I was giggling and kicking my feet the whole time that I was writing those two in the serial killer's warehouse. But then I went and tried to write new characters in a completely neutral setting, dealing with like things in the real world, and they suddenly just did not feel as intense to me and nowhere near as exciting. I didn't give them enough meat. I didn't give them enough things that they're working through. And I learned this year that just because it's a romance doesn't mean that they can't also be dealing with very intense personal issues that prevent them from getting together. Actually, they should be dealing with those kind of intense emotional personal issues. And there are plenty of things in the real world that are dark and rip couples apart. So I only wrote part of one book, and I didn't make it all the way through that book. I restarted that book probably 5 or 6 times over the course of those 6 weeks, and the farthest I got was like chapter 10. But it's also because I'm still learning how to create romantic tension while having these characters in lots of scenes together. Like in Love Trials, originally in my first draft, I had the two characters, like, every time they interacted, it was very loaded, and they didn't interact a ton. It was a real slow burn until they were abducted in the serial killer's warehouse. And I was really scared, thinking, like, okay, if a character kisses for the first time, all the tension dies. And I read a bunch of romances this year and tried to pay attention to the ones that actually, like, gave me butterflies and, like, made me really excited to read. And I think slow burn is what I like. I naturally gravitate more towards the slow burn romances, but just because they kiss doesn't mean the romance is over. Like, they have a lot more stuff that they have to work out from the beginning to the end of the romance. So it's just been a little bit more of a learning curve, and I have to write them differently than my serial killer thrillers. So I did not smash this goal. I did not write 3 of these books. I really barely made it through the opening of one,
if I'm being completely honest. But I have a concept that I really like for the first book of this series, so I'm thinking I'm probably going to revisit it after I publish Love Trials, but I will talk about that more in my 2026 goals video. This is still happening. I still want to do this pen name. I've chosen a name for this pen name. I just haven't announced it or haven't really started anything because I've been so consumed with Love Trials. And I had so much interest around Love Trials that became what I did this year. Like, I didn't want to lose the opportunity of people being super excited about this book. I always want to write what I'm most passionate about, because if I'm really passionate about it, I know my readers will be able to tell, and I'm super excited that it seems to be the case that readers are very excited about the Love Trials. So if I can make this into a series that is more of a profit driver for me, then I don't need to push myself to go and create another pen name at all. I can just really focus on this for a little while and maybe come back to cowboy romances later. But I need to figure out how I can get my business to turn a little bit more of a profit. And if I can do that with the project I'm most passionate about at the moment, then I'm just going to go full send into that. My next self-publishing goal is I'm going to publish They Stay 5's audiobook. That is going to happen. I did that. The audiobook came out a month ago. It's out if you want to take a listen. So now we've talked about all of those super small and completely achievable tasks that I definitely will not put any pressure on myself to achieve. Let's talk about the traditional publishing goals that I have. This is not actually that big a goal. I just have a goal to query the standalone book that I have. I want to query, I think, over 100 agents. I want to be really aggressive with it. I want to start by just querying a couple and see what the reception is, and then I can tweak my package from there and then send it out again. Okay, I did not do this, and I chose not to do this. It's not that I don't love the book that I was planning to query. I still think that I will, and I still plan on it, but I think that my Love Trials pitch and concept is so much stronger than the other one. It's more high concept. Like, I love the other book. I think it's really quirky and cute, and I think it's a good book, and I think it has the potential to be a good book, but I don't think that it has the kind of breakout potential that Love Trials does. And it didn't get the same kind of reception when I was marketing it as the Love Trials did. So my original goal was to try to query out the Love Trials, which is why I've been making reels basically all year saying, like, when you write a 200,000 word book and you have to cut it down to the industry standard before you query it because no agent will want to publish it. I thought that agents would be more interested in the Love Trials just because it's more high concept and easier to pitch, and readers were already really responding to it. However, because of the length, I had a gut feeling that agents would not want to read it, or would think it's too long, or would think it's too unwieldy. And when I sent it to beta readers, I sent them an 150,000 word book. And I was trying to cut it down, but cutting it down meant cutting a lot of stuff that I thought was really important to the story, and I couldn't find a place to cut it down naturally. And so one of the things that I asked my beta readers when I sent them that 150,000 word book was, were there places that you think I could cut? Were there places that, you think that, like, is there any way that I could turn this into like a 90,000 word manuscript? And they all said no. None of them told me that they thought it was too long. A lot of people thought that it was actually too short, that they wanted me to add more depth and more description to the chapters that were basically just dialogue, because when I was cutting it down, I would like cut a lot of the action tags and just leave the dialogue in. They wanted me to paint more of a picture and just make the writing a little bit more rich, which is what I have been doing as I've been editing. But that means my word count is longer. And I made the decision that I didn't want to make any changes to the book and try to have it meet this under 100,000 word industry standard just to appeal to agents, when I had so much interest organically on TikTok, when I was actually had interest from readers directly, and I had the opportunity to make the book exactly what my readers wanted. They wanted it a certain length. They didn't want me to cut things out, so I'm going to make it that length, and I'm not going to cut those things out, and I'm going to create the book that they want, not the book that I think that editors and agents might want. It's a risk, but I write for my readers first, and who knows, maybe this book will be successful and I can get the attention of agents and editors after it's already been self-published because of how much readers love it. I don't know, but what a dream that would be. So that's what happened with that. It's that I thought I was going to query Love Trials instead because I thought it was a more smash idea, and then I decided I wanted to self-publish it. But the other one is actually a very pocket nice like size for traditional publishing. So I think if I spent a little bit more time developing it and finishing it, I think I could very easily query it. So maybe, who knows, maybe I'll do that after I do Love Trials and just send it out there. So it's just kind of percolating and just, you know, planting some seeds and seeing what happens. Because I do really like those characters. They're very quirky, but the idea is just quirky. It's like The Good Place with some murder. First marketing goal that I have is to do a full cover rebrand of the They Stay series. I want to redesign every cover and optimize it to better fit the genre that I am writing in. The backstory of this is that I was working with an ads consultant last year or this year in 2024, and I was trying to figure out how to get the books to convert better on Facebook because they weren't converting very well on Facebook. And I had some months where I was profitable, but once I tried to scale, it just wasn't working, and it was really hard to sustain being profitable, so it's just really, really difficult. I worked with the Writing Wives, specifically Mal Cooper and Felicia Beasley, and they were fantastic. And Mal said, based on the data, it looked like a lot of people were clicking through and downloading the book, but I wasn't getting enough page reads. And it looked like a lot of people were downloading and reading a couple of pages and then deciding to put it down. And I was getting really good reviews, so it isn't a quality issue of the book, but her theory was just that it was taking people a little too long to get into it, and also a lot of people that would enjoy it weren't buying it because it looked either like it was a YA book, and even though I wrote it as a YA book, it's really not. Like, most of the people that are reading it and liking it are older, and I know a lot of older readers read YA, but sometimes the fact that it's YA can be a turnoff, and she suggested it would be a better idea for me to create covers that make the book look more mature and not make it look like something that you would buy for a 12-year-old, but instead make it look like something that you would buy for yourself. And so I want to do that. I want to do that, and I want to test it to really see if that makes a difference, because I know that the book is good. I'm very confident in the book. Not, you know, of course, some people may not like the book. I'm not saying that it's like, you know, everybody's going to love the book, but I'm really proud of the book. I've gotten really good reviews of the book. I know that if I can get it into the right readers' hands, they also might like the book. I just have to figure out how to get the right readers who will like it to know that they will like it based on the cover. I left that in there so you could really understand the context. This is why I redesigned the covers. And I did. That cover design project is done. I have all 5 of my new covers that are live, that are out there, and I love them. The project took flipping forever. I started in like February and didn't wrap up till October, so it took a long time for all of them to get redesigned, but I really, really like the final product. And has it made a difference for my sales? To be completely honest, I haven't been running the kinds of ads that I did before the cover rebrand because I've been so focused on Love Trials that I just haven't had the bandwidth to really dig into marketing. I haven't been working with any ads consultants. I haven't been doing any of that. And so I do want to do that again, but I just haven't really gotten around to it. So I haven't done an appropriate comparison yet. And yeah, I don't have the data to really say whether or not it's true, but that's going to be one of my goals for this year, is to find someone to work with, because I just don't have the bandwidth to like manage ads and manage my TikTok marketing and do YouTube and write the books. Like, it becomes quite expansive. My next marketing goal is a YouTube goal. Shocker. I would really like to get the channel, this is my stretch goal, to 40,000 subscribers. What a cool thing! We almost got that! I think I'm at like 37,000 at the time of filming this, and that's basically 40. That's incredible! I thought that was such a stretch goal when I made that, but that happened this year. I'm so grateful to every single one of you who is subscribed to my channel and who watches my videos. I have made a lot of progress on YouTube this year. I really feel like I'm starting to come into my own, and I feel more confident, and I know what kind of videos that I make, and I'm getting really, really honest with my videos, and I'm paying more attention to the quality of my videos because I'm actually learning a little bit about how to do that. I've just started working with some brands and starting some brand partnerships that I'm really excited about with software and programs that I actually use and highly recommend, and so that has been a dream of mine for a while, and I'm really happy with the community that we're building here. I'm very, very grateful to every one of you who treats this like a community, who engages in the comments, who talks to each other, who talks to me, who emails me privately. I'm so, so happy to be able to do this and to be someone who you come to talk about writing with. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here and for watching this. So my plan for this is to continue being consistent with my posting and also to double down on video concepts that have worked really well for me in the past. So I actually was most consistent this year out of any year I have posted on YouTube ever, and I want to have a perfect record in 2026. In 2025, I was nearly perfect, but I fell off the wagon in March or April, right around the time that I was really working on They Fall. But after They Fall came out, and since then, I haven't missed. So I don't want to miss this year at all. I want to make sure I'm consistent every single Monday I have a video for you. And it's really hard because these videos take a lot of time to edit, and I put a lot of time into scripting them. So sometimes it can be really hard to juggle that when I'm on a deadline, but we're gonna do it this year. And I was proud of what I did last year too, honestly. I'm also starting to really understand what topics do well on the channel and what ones you're most interested in seeing. And so I'm actually like working with a content calendar right now, and I have all of my videos through March planned and like scheduled for those particular dates. So I'm gonna stick with that, and hopefully that will help me make more videos that you're interested in, just like with a little bit more planning ahead, because in the past I've kind of just let my whims, like I'll be like, oh, I have to film a video, what could I talk about this week? And I want to be more intentional with it moving forward. I want to do live streams on a more regular schedule. I won't be able to do them every week, realistically, but if I can do them every 2 weeks, that would be great. I have not been very good about doing my live streams. It has just been too much between keeping up on YouTube, doing YouTube Shorts, which is something I started doing this year in earnest, and doing TikTok. If I bumped that up to also doing live streams, it would be a little too much for me right now. But what I'm finding is that as I'm getting better at social media and managing this in general, as I have more years of experience under my belt, I'm able to handle more. Like I was not able to handle one YouTube video a week with TikTok like 3 years ago. But now I have a year under my belt of like posting to TikTok at least every day. I had a period where I was posting 5 times a day and not missing on my YouTube. So I think it will happen where I can get back to slotting in live streams, but it's a lot for my introverted brain to handle, all of this content creation plus the writing, because the writing is really why I'm doing all of this in the first place. Lastly, I want to send out one mailing list email every 2 weeks. I think this is doable. It's just hard for me to sit down and send emails. It's like one of those things. I can manage YouTube. It's hard for me to manage much else when it comes to social media because I spend all of my time working on my books. So if I can find a way to optimize my mailing list, maybe get an AI agent to help schedule those or to help even like put together the content. I did not do this. My mailing list fell through the cracks for a lot of this year, but I am back on it now and I'm on top of it. And I sent an email about 2 weeks ago. I'm going to send one again this week, updating everybody on how things are going with the love trials. I'm not using an AI agent for my mailing list. I haven't been able to figure out how to do that in a way that feels authentic. I have a template that I like to use where I like have a section for my YouTube video, a section for like my writing update and stuff, and I go in and I fill all that in, but no AI agent writes exactly like I do, and I don't want, like, this is my personal connection with my readers. I don't want an AI agent to go in there and like just write something so I can just send out something. Like, I want to write it, and I usually what I do is I'll be very caffeinated, and first thing in the morning when I'm like buzzing with energy, I will write my mailing list update so you can feel the enthusiasm and feel the excitement, and then I'll send that out to my mailing list. And that works because it's first thing in the morning, my mind is clear, I'm really like excited about it, and then everything is written very authentically in my voice because I'm speaking directly to my readers. I don't want to just have an AI spit something out to send to my readers. I want to be able to tell them from my heart exactly what I'm working on and how things are going for me. Because then I could just go in and I can write my little writing update, and that would be really quick for me to do, and I would still be able to communicate with readers and just be more present and reachable
over the course of the year. I definitely think I have been more reachable this year. I've been way more present on social media because I've been on TikTok and I've been consistent posting here. So I am also I'm getting better at replying to my emails, and I'm more on top of replying to every single email that I receive, so that's good. I have never been a very good texter or emailer, and so I'm really prioritizing every time I get an email, replying to that email. So those are the goals that I had for 2025. In total, I am very, very happy with everything that I accomplished this year. I may not have been emailing my mailing list every 2 weeks, but I did post to TikTok every single day this year, and sometimes I was posting 3 to 5 times a day, which is crazy, and I never thought that I would be capable of doing that. I leveled up my content creation by a lot. I wrote a really long, involved, intense book that I'm incredibly proud of, that is the favorite out of every single book that I've ever written, and that fills me with so much deep excitement and meaning and pride, especially knowing that I'm going to be publishing it in just a couple of months. Sure, I may not have written 3 cowboy romances, but I did start and I did write part of one, and I've been reading a ton of romances since then to really start internalizing how they're written, and I just need to learn how to write romances. I think once I learn how and once the structure feels more natural to me, they will come out faster, but they're very different than what I'm writing now, and so I underestimated how steep the learning curve would be, and so I just need to continue to learn and have a very open mind as I continue to explore and move forward with those books. But my focus in 2026 will be quality and not quantity. I'm not going to try to go for as many books as I can. I want to go for as many really good books as I can and focus on making the books that I do publish as good as I can make them. I want to focus on reader connections. I want to focus on talking to my readers and talking to you and making myself available to have discussions. I want to create a really cool experience for everyone who's involved with my ARC team, my beta reading team, who pre-orders my book, who is one of my readers. I want to make the experience of reading one of my books a really cool, fun experience for you. I want to create fantastic pre-order incentives. I want to take you behind the scenes and live pack all of the orders so you can see me in my kitchen literally being the one to put all of the books in the envelopes and drop all the stickers and goodies and things in there. Because that's what I love about being an author in today's day and age, the ability to be able to personally connect with the people that read your stories and being able to create a community and build a community around those books. And I'm very, very excited for what this year holds. I'm going to film a separate video sharing my goals for this year, all of the things that I will be focusing on, so that next year at this time I can react to that and see how I did. But thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that it was interesting. I try to be completely honest in all of my videos and really take you into my brain and how I'm thinking about things and how I'm planning things and what I feel. If you have a second, I'd be super grateful if you could like this video and also subscribe to my channel. My name is Claire Fraze, and I'm an award-winning author who makes videos sharing actionable writing tips that helped me make my own writing better. I'm the author of the 5-book paranormal thriller They Stay series, as well as my new series, Phantom Minds, which is inspired by criminal minds and supernatural and follows a team of ghost hunters who hunt the ghosts of serial killers. Book 1, The Love Trials, will be coming out in April, and I cannot wait. So stay tuned for more information on that. Did you meet your goals for 2025? Let me know down in the comments below. I would love to hear how you are doing and how things are going with you and your writing career. I hope you have a fantastic week, everybody, and as always, happy writing.